This guy has called Jews.
No. Attack me! You attacked me! You fucking attacked me! You piece of shit! You attacked me!
All right, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all the praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash, and double honors to my teachers, the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, peace, love, mercy, and salutations to all you sincere brothers that are scattered, pushing out this truth in sincerity. Shalom as well to you few sisters that be of the household of faith. All right, now as you saw here, this video, I came across this a couple of days ago, and I thought it was funny, man, because this really kind of highlights what's happening behind closed doors. Okay, all the tension, the war, the division. All right, when it comes to a lot of these things in which Esau Edom wants to do, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai rules in the kingdom of men, and this man was what he was. It was written that he was going to have a major downfall. Okay. So ultimately, we'll bring out some precepts, but what this really shows you is that the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai said that if Satan fight against Satan, how shall his kingdom stand? Okay. And ultimately, he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay. So these people are divided, man. Okay. Contrary to, what you may see out there, you think all these people, nah, man, these people hate each other. Okay. The scriptures go into the fact that he that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? So what you see, here is both Edomite nations, okay, an Israeli, all right, a small hat, and so-called American white man, okay, fighting at the airport. Okay, so it says right here, on the caption, Israeli and American brawl after American allegedly tells him, in quotes, Hitler was right. You see? And so it says right here, airport staff at Manila Airport. I believe, Manila is in the Philippines. Okay, I think that's the capital of the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken. Stepped up on August 8th. Okay, so one of the staff members stepped in on August 8th after a dispute between an Israeli man, okay, a small hat, all right, an Edomite, one of those top nations too as well, okay, Amalek, and an American man, and you saw that man, he was a so-called white man. These are the same people, by the way, okay, no difference than the Russians and the Ukrainians. Even though there's war between them, guess what? They're the same people. All right, there's no difference between the Russians, the Ukrainians, the Israeli, and the so-called American white man. There is no difference. Okay, these are all the same people. All right, but what nation is really gonna come hard? Okay, at these Israelis and Americans. Okay, is it not the Russians? Okay, that's prophesied. That is one of the major prophecy in the scriptures. Okay, but guess what? These are all the same people. The Lord is working in the minds of these nations, man. Okay, the Lord's working in the minds of these people, and He's gonna use these people to destroy themselves in their own craftiness. The Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai, all right, is playing games with these people, man. That's why I said He will laugh at your calamity, man. Okay. So again, let me start from the top again. It says airport staff at Manila Airport stepped in on August 8th after a dispute between an Israeli man and an American man escalated into a physical confrontation. Reports indicate the incident began with offensive comments during a verbal exchange before turning into a fight. Authorities later detained both individuals while reviewing the circumstances surrounding the event. Okay, so they're having an argument, and ultimately, these, small hats, man, you say one little thing, all of a sudden now that's war. These are, that's Satan right there, man. You can't say anything against these people, man. How many, people have lost jobs? Not only that, but have, lost, careers, opportunities, whatever. Okay, if they spoke, so-called, they just put it under, and they just put it under the umbrella of, it's anti-Semitism. Everything is anti-Semitism, man. Okay, which you're not the only Shemites. All right, you are not the only Shemites. But anything you say, it's under that umbrella, man. So ultimately, it just goes to show you, man, these people are wicked, and you can't call them out at all. Even when the wicked is calling out the other wicked. Now look at what happened here. There's a precept. This precept in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 21, verse 27, when the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. You see that? So that's exactly what you just saw, man. These are both, okay, Edomites going at it, cursing each other. But, nevertheless, he curseth his own self, man. Okay, his own soul. Now let's get more precepts, because the Lord Yahweh Bashim Mashai is here to bring that division, man. Okay, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Mashai is also showing us, man, that we're living in, that we are living in a beautiful time where we are seeing the downfall of our enemy. Okay, this is a very precious time where we are seeing the downfall of our enemy, man. Okay, this is another one of those a foreshadow of things to come, okay, type of videos right here. This is in the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 26. It says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall his kingdom stand? It can't. Okay, his kingdom cannot stand, and the reason being is because there's division. Do you think there will be division amongst the Israelites in the kingdom of heaven? War, which we're seeing happening right now amongst these Edomites, man. The scriptures really go into the fact, again, he that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? Because ultimately, a lot of these people are upset. That the top elites, okay, are not, they're not putting the rest of the Edomite nations, in a good position, really, man. Okay, you have a lot of what you call as two-time losers, man. Edomites that are supposed to be in a position of rulership, but really, they're just, some of them are doing worse than Jake. That's because the heads of their people, all right, they're not really spreading, that wealth like that, man. They don't care. You see? So ultimately, in the kingdom of heaven, all Israel will be good, man. All of our people will be living it up. There will be no war, none of this nonsense, man. Because we're going to be programmed to keep the ways of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, unlike these nations, man. Okay, so the scripture says right here, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. So when so where there's division, ultimately there's going to be tension, there's going to be war, destruction. Okay, things will not be running smoothly, and this is exactly what you see. How shall then his kingdom stand? The answer is it can't. Okay, you see, the scriptures go into the fact that what, that shall two walk together, or can two walk together except, how shall, Salaka, let's get it. Salaka, I butchered that, man. It's been a minute since I brought out this precept. Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed? Okay, and the answer is absolutely not. They can't. They can't walk together, what, unless they are in agreement, and that makes sense. Okay, where you have tension and you're butting heads, etc. Ultimately it's not gonna be a a smooth sail, okay, journey. It won't. There's always going to be war. Okay, so you need to agree. You need to have the same mind. And ultimately what we're seeing is that there's a lot of, disagreements happening, man. Okay, between these nations, in the, those that are in the high government seats. Okay, when it comes to a lot of these, different, laws and legislations, things in which they want to pass, ultimately, a lot of these Edomites know about the MOTB, man. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of resistance amongst them too. You see? Yo, this is some crazy times, man. Okay, let's get one more. Okay, or not one more. Let's get a few more. The book of Isaiah chapter 19 verse 2 to 4. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. Who are your modern day Egyptians? These Edomites, man. The Lord said that he was going to set them against each other, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. You see that? They are the same nation, man. Okay? These Israelis and the so-called white American, the Russians, the Ukrainians, these are all the same people. Okay? And everyone against his neighbor, every city against city, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. You see that? That's what's happening. The Lord is bringing forth division amongst these councils, man. Okay? And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, right? Because ultimately, they are afraid at what's getting ready to come, man. The scripture said that, that he knows that he hath but a short time. So he's going to try to work quickly. But ultimately, what are these people doing? They're going deep into their witchcraft. They're looking at, these witches and warlocks, right? They're looking for answers, right? Not recently, but, you've heard of the, project Looking Glass, all right, where they are looking into their future. Okay, and the answer that has always been coming up is the exact same, and that is ultimately the end of this man's kingdom, man. Okay, the end of Esau Edom, and it's gonna end in a, in a very dramatic, all right, destruction. Okay, you see, and whichever avenue, they try to, manipulate certain things, to get a different answer, they can't. The same answer keeps coming up, and that is the destruction of the so-called white man. Okay, so again, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord. Okay, and a fierce king shall rule over them, man. And who is that ultimately? DJ Trump. He is that cruel Lord and a fierce king, man. Okay, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashimashah, the Lord of hosts, because the Lord is about war, man. Okay, the scriptures say in the book of Exodus, the Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name. You see? So, yeah, this is beautiful, man. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Okay, this is the time that we're in, and this is a beautiful thing, man. Okay, is to live to see the fall of our enemy, because these are the same people that have said, oh Jerusalem, raise it, meaning what? Destroy Jerusalem. They were rejoicing at our downfall, man, and the things in which they did to rejoice. Hanging, our children, okay, using our children as, the alligator baits, okay, destroying, the pregnant, Jake woman, all right, doing all of these vile, very gruesome acts, man, okay, there's so much that you can't even mention, man, all right, these are the same nations, so imagine, we're here again, they can't get rid of us, man, we're here again, to see the downfall, okay, of them and their kingdom and their rulership. And what's going to happen immediately after? They're going to go into hardcore captivity, man. Okay, a hardcore captivity. This is in the book of Luke, all right, chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? You see that? The Lord said that he's going to come to set fire on the earth, man. In the NLT, I believe it says, I wish it was already kindled. Let's get that real quick. The same precept in the NLT. Okay. It says, I am come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. Okay. You see, not only physically, but also, again, within house, there's a lot of, there's a lot of division, there's a lot of turmoil, okay, you name it, okay, because these things happen within, before they actually happen, okay, physically out. All right. You see, before the fire actually burns this place, there's gonna be a lot of war amongst these nations, man. Okay, and that's the beauty. That's the beautiful part about all of this, man. Let me play this one more time, and I'm gonna wrap it up.
That's right, now you going to jail. Now you going to jail. You prove our point. You prove our point. You're going to jail.
This guy has called Jews.
Attack me. You attacked me. You fucking attacked me. You piece of shit. You attacked me.
Beautiful, man. With that, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Barakatah, Shalom.